Oh, baby.
What?
What's up, crazy kids? Another edition, Geektastic Sci-Fi here on Free X Agents Media and on twitch.tv/Geektastic Sci-Fi. If you don't know, now you know, bitches. How you been, man?
I'm good.
Living that
Just,
soon-to-be married life?
I hope, but it's just the planning part. That's the scary part.
You gotta hit up our boy Dave. It's saying because that bastard is out there just getting everything done, right? That's he got his missus all like planning everything. They already got their location picked out.
It is crazy. Can you hear
You're
me?
Yeah, but you're oddly just a yellow box now.
Yeah, I took off my screen just a quick second just to like get it going, and then all of a sudden it screwed up everything.
Yeah, because you were already on the screen. Why'd you go? You were there. You were part of the conversation, mon ami. Bienvenue au Québec. Vive le Québec. Whatever.
Oh, that's why.
If you guys are just tuning in, we are the crazy family that is Geektastic Sci-Fi, and this week we have a whole bunch of things to discuss. But speaking of family, Reed Richards' long relative of some sorts, Kang. First appearance of Kang, not the other dude that John Majors played, who I always forget his name. I have to look it up.
In which show or which? You're talking about Witchcraft Country?
No, on Loki. He played a different version of Kang.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Some other version of Kang that's not Kang, but everyone's just like, well, that's Kang. It's just like, no, he's the guy that Kang is, but from this timeline. And I was just like, cool. It's Kang. Just like Baby Yoda's real name is Grogu, but ain't nobody calling that baby Grogu. We calling him Baby Yoda. That's gonna forever be his name. You can tell me all
is Grogu actually Yoda, or is it not Yoda? It's just a part of that race.
Part of that race.
Okay.
Just like Yandel.
All right.
The one female we know of who's being voiced by Bryce Dallas Howard in the animated Tales of. Yeah, they just tapped her to be the voice for one of them.
Did they tap her, or they're like, hey, yo, Howard, can you talk to your daughter, please? Please.
Hey, funny enough, she's actually been doing more work than he has with Star Wars because she directed a whole bunch of episodes of The Mandalorian.
Well, remember he had to come in and
for Solo.
Just clean up Solo, just finish it kind of thing.
Right. But then she came on and did she did the first episode with Grogu. The first episode with Baby Yoda was an episode she did, and there's a whole story about how she brought her kids on set and had to get them to swear not to say anything. And she said it was so rough for them because they're children and they loved Baby Yoda, and they weren't allowed to tell anybody that they knew about Baby Yoda. So they had to spend months secretly knowing about this thing and not being able to
Yo, man, those kids get Ferraris once they turn 16. That's the
Favreau.
You did your job. You didn't spoil it. Nobody.
The true test too, because everyone spoils everything now.
Yeah,
everyone spoils everything.
Well, be happy that her kid isn't. What's the guy that plays Bruce Banner now?
Oh yeah, Mark Ruffalo. Yeah,
Mark Ruffalo. He would have just told everybody.
Holland. Who's the other one? There's a whole bunch of them over at Marvel that cannot. They don't even get full scripts now because they're just like, I mean, supposedly I'm in a scene with this guy who's 6'4", blonde hair, blue eyes. He was born on. He starts like giving you all the details of the character. Just like, what are you doing? Why are you being this person right now?
I signed a contract. They can't fire me. They can.
The contract says.
They can and they will. Like, look at it this way. You don't think they're not afraid to change who plays War Machine?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they already just got a new like Mark Ruffalo isn't the first Hulk.
Right,
like
exactly.
Technically, well, I mean, he's the second Hulk in MCU.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
And then they ruined what's his name? The first
Norton?
Hulk's.
Banner?
Yeah, no, Norton. They ruined his kind of career a little bit by saying, "Oh, he was difficult to work with."
Yeah,
and he was like, "I was quiet the whole time." All right, yeah. Assholes! I did not do anything. You guys are being jerks. You ruined my whole career, telling everyone I'm hard to work with, which is not even true.
And it was
or
so
not
weird.
Even that close.
It was so weird because I remember at the time he came out saying like, "Y'all do know I'm friends with a lot of the actors that you have signed up for these projects for the next couple of years. Like, these are people I know. I know Robert Downey Jr. Like, y'all are out here saying that I would have been a distraction or I would have been a troublemaker. My friends are working on these projects. They could vouch for me. You're just being dicks about it. That's
That was
just
cold.
that's just what Disney does not care about anybody. That like, people need to realize that. Disney doesn't care about anybody.
They got all the money.
All the money. But also, speaking of Disney real quick, they're partners across the board, across the aisle. And I say aisle because I'm picturing like a cinematic aisle. Their buddies across the movie theater aisle have just brought in James Gunn, one of their own, and Peter Safran to head up the DCEU. Why? James Gunn.
Hi.
Because James Gunn like to play mind games.
like I said in our chat, if I'm Burger King and I can hire the old president of Burger King as he gets out of McDonald's. If I'm Burger King, I can hire the old president of McDonald's, then I will lock him up so he can't do more McDonald's stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. A lot of studios have been doing stuff like that for years. If you look at when Fox, who was it? Netflix bought out like half of the Fox people at one point. ABC was trying to sign over all the executives from other. This does happen in Hollywood. It happens quite often, actually. If you look at the resume for half of these executives in Hollywood, they've pretty much all worked at each other's studios.
Look at J.J. Abrams. He was starting up Star Wars. Star Trek. The whole rebranding of Star Trek.
The Kelvin timeline.
And then he jumped over to Star Wars because he really wanted to do Star Wars because he was like, well, I'm going to make Star Trek more Star Warsy. And then and then all of a sudden he got and he's like, see what I did over there with Star Trek? I did that. And they're like, okay, fine, you do Star Wars now. And it's like, yay, it's the same.
I gotta say though, it is rough because then you have people like Zack Snyder who pitches ideas for Star Wars, gets turned down, and then makes things like Rebel Moon, which I find very interesting. I don't think it's going to be a good movie because I haven't seen Snyder do anything good since before he did the DC movies, because all his DC movies suck. But all that to say, I mean, we'll see. All his DC movies suck.
Shade.
They need to get. We're going to talk
shade.
We're going to talk about it in Black Adam, but there's a lot to be said.
He didn't do Black Adam, did he?
No, but
okay.
I'll get to it when I get to it.
But also one thing is that why wouldn't DC hire the guy that did the soft reboot of the Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Right? That's the right name for it. The Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And then did Peacemaker.
Yeah.
And everyone likes both of them.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not even mad at the idea that they got the guy who's doing solid work for them. That actually makes sense. I get it. But those movies, those pieces, I should say, because they're not both movies, to me, do not equate the ability to run the entire ship. Like, doing two things doesn't make you the man who can run everything. That's where I'm concerned about the plan, because.
And then,
but go ahead. One more thing you were gonna say.
Well, maybe two more things. One more thing was that Suicide Squad, they purposely recut the whole movie to make it like Guardians of the Galaxy with
the first one, David Ayers.
With all the music and all the here's the introduction scenes of everybody and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then also I thought there was like a thing where MCU was probably going to tap Gunn after the Russos had finished their thing and kind of left, or like, we did our thing with the whole arc with everything, and okay, so maybe Gunn was going to be the new guy, and then
I don't know.
Controversy of his tweets came out and he stepped away, and he's like, okay, well, I'm going to go do, I'm still going to work. Like, I can't just be like, I'm going to sit in the cut doing nothing.
I know I've heard the rumor that he was like the next guy who could handle the MCU after the Russos, but I feel like that had more to do with a rumor mill than facts. Like, there's nothing about James Gunn that screams man who can handle the entire universe. I don't see. There's nothing in his work. Don't get me wrong. He does great work. Brightburn. He didn't make he didn't direct Brightburn, but it was one of his. I guess an example of his executive production powers and skills.
Right.
And like, you know, the film is fun. I saw it. It's good. It's interesting. It's essentially an evil Superman. So you can tell that he already understands the hero genre or the villain genre, whatever version you want to say. But I also don't know that just because he did that, just because he did Guardians of the Galaxy, The Suicide Squad, and Peacemaker, that he has the eye or the longevity. Because Feige has been doing 20-something movies. You're almost at 30.
I mean,
and
20 something as MCU, and then consultant on all the other Marvel movies that have come out.
Exactly. Whereas Gunn, cool, you've done some great stuff, but I don't know, when I look at your history, I don't see the same like birth of work as Feige, you know? Like, I would say, if anything, maybe a Favreau would have been a good idea. Like, Favreau is the guy that gave you your first Iron Man. Favreau has projects that, you know, things that when you look at it on paper, you're just like, why the fuck would we watch this movie? Then you see Elf and you're like, this is one of the best movies. Like that, like Favreau has that skill set, has the directing skills, able to pick good people. Because David Filoni coming back for on the Star Wars side, that was a Favreau decision. So he has all those things. Where's like Gunn hasn't done anything.
I don't think Favreau would want to do it, and I think he's already stepped away. I'm sure. I think Favreau would have, but he was just like Iron Man 2, and then all the executive stuff, and then he made the movie Chef, which is basically talking about his experience having people like, no, do the same thing over and over and over again, keep doing it. And he's like, I don't want to do that.
I'm not talking about whether or not someone wants the job. I'm saying who I think would be good for the job.
Yeah. I mean, I think
he is the head that wears the crown, and often the best person for the crown is the one that doesn't want the title. That's the point.
And then I feel like I think he likes doing Mandalorian just because it's TV. And it's
but
he could do.
Well, he's a fanboy to a certain degree as well.
Yeah. I mean, he totally is.
He's still in the machine though. Like, you do realize Mandalorian is still Disney, so it's not like
it's still Disney, but it's
still a
different branch.
But he hasn't technically done. I don't find he's been too limited in order to be like Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like, he's been very Star Wars. If anything, he's been more Star Wars-y.
Like and movies. Also, what else did he do underneath Disney? He did Jungle Book.
Favreau did Jungle Book?
Yeah, Favreau did Jungle Book. Like, he's done quite a, but again, he's not a guy that just wants to do the same thing. Like, he wants to be a little bit different, and he doesn't want like, hey, I have a story to tell, and like, no, screw that. You have to add this person and this person, and he's just like, oh my god. Okay, so when I do my contract, if I'm doing Mandalorian, do not add other people.
But here's the thing. I'm not talking about Favreau being under somebody. I'm saying give Favreau the reins like you do a Feige, where you're not.
I think Favreau, I don't think he would care to do that. I feel like, you know, if Favreau really wanted to do something that was like in that capacity.
I just want to remind you guys, I'm not saying he wants the job. I'm saying he would be good for the job.
I think we are all in agreement that he's proven that he can do a job. Like,
he could do any job in Hollywood, as far as I'm concerned.
The fact that Iron Man 1,
from janitor to CEO, he could do it all. Like, you know,
the fact that Iron Man 1 had a running script and most of it's improvised.
Right.
The fact that Iron Man 2 came out, was it a year or two? Like, it was like pretty quick, and it was very a lot of people had very different things they wanted to do on the show, on the job and everything. And some people liked what came out of it, some people didn't like what came out of it.
Right.
I completely agree with you. Yes.
All I'm saying.
But I mean, again, we always have to think of the person said, I'm good. I did what I did. I birthed it.
100% agree. Not my point. My point.
Yeah, I know. I think we all agree with your point.
Yeah.
I think yes, he could.
Your point of whether or not he was talented enough or could do the job was never in question. We were just like, we were trying to.
You guys were
trying to see if there was an alternate universe that he would do this. Yeah, I don't. No.
Oh, maybe. I mean, there's infinite alternate universes where anything is happening. There's an alternate universe where the Joker really exists and he runs Marvel, and for some reason, DC and Marvel are one entity and everything's on fire. And
they're amalgam.
Yeah,
Amalgam
the
Comics.
Amalgam Comics universe is a real thing, and Joker. What? Who was the blended Joker in that universe?
Was it Hyena?
Hyena. Yes.
It
I don't
was
remember.
Joker and
Yeah, it was
Sabretooth.
yeah, I was about to say it was
Yeah.
Joker Sabretooth. It was
So
back
Hyena is running everything and is fucking everybody over and destroying everything. And
I'm gonna
Dark
watch
Claw.
it. Somehow they keep getting money.
Yeah. You know what? I wouldn't mind some
Oh,
Amalgam.
what
movies.
was the Robin's
Claw.
name?
Dark Claw would
forget.
be epic.
Do you
I don't
remember the
remember the
Robin's?
Robin.
Because there's a Robin that's like Jubilee / Robin, right? But I can't
Oh,
remember
yeah.
the
I
character's
can't remember the name.
I have the comic book where they're dating.
No way.
Yeah, because it's like the crossover, the all access crossover where Jubilee and Robin are together, which is what leads to when the things to get merged, that Jubilee is essentially the Robin to Dark Claw. God, Amalgam Comics was such a ridiculous thing.
I love it.
It was great.
We
though.
need it.
Hey,
It was
I
so
own
great.
I own most of those comics. I have the
I mean-
all access crossover and the amalgam. It's just crazy when you think of it, though.
Oh, you're lucky.
I mean, like if you look at Grant Morrison's run on Batman, and then you get amalgam at the end of it, you're like, when Batman turns to the screen and says, "Well, I've been everything else today." That's a line from Dexter's Laboratory.
I love
Or
it.
I think no, was it Dexter's Laboratory?
It's
I think it was something where they kept switching bodies.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're like,
You mean
why
Edie,
not?
right?
I've been everything else today. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like I know what you're talking about, but I can't envision who the characters are.
I thought it was Dexter and Dee Dee.
I
That they
think
were
so.
shooting
Oh,
something
they
at each
swapped bodies,
Yeah.
I think. So
And
they're changing to different things, and then they
Yes.
swapped bodies, and it's like, why not? I've been everything else today.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, let's actually talk about the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer. If you guys haven't seen the trailer yet, we highly recommend you go check it out. It came out a couple days ago. It is actually not the exact same one that came out at Comic-Con, which a lot of people were expecting. Supposedly, there's a few differences for people who saw the one at Comic-Con and saw this one. So I'm going to start off by saying this. One of the things I don't know if I like in superhero genre is when the MacGuffin is what starts off a story. Like, you know how there's always the MacGuffins, those random doohickey thingamabobs that, you have in the story to help save the day? I'm fine. But when it starts to, like, at least from the trailer's perspective, it looks like that was a major player and it's early on. This movie is going to take place in the quantum realm. We understand that. From the trailer, it looks like Cassie Lang creates this beacon that tells people where they are, like how to connect people from the quantum realm so they can find their way out. Hope tells them, like, wait a minute, is Sharon Stone playing Hope?
No, that's was it Batman Returns Catwoman you're talking about?
She's playing, whatchamacallit?
Let's look it up.
Michelle Pfeiffer? Is that
Yes, Michelle Pfeiffer.
No, I know Michelle Pfeiffer, but I'm trying to remember who she's playing. Jane.
Oh.
She's playing Jane Van Dyne.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. So once they turn the machine on and the beacon starts to flash and she realizes what Cassie's doing, she says to her, turn it off. And it's like, I don't like that that's the thing at the beginning. That the issue is Cassie Lang is too stupid to know. First of all, it's definitely not her responsibility. She's a child. But why did you guys teach this kid how to play with the quantum realm? And then when she plays with the quantum realm, no one thought to check any of her work before she started turning machines on.
Yeah.
You know what?
So wait, hold on. Wait.
There's so many valid points in that one.
You got
statement.
2 scientists in the room. No one's checking nothing.
2 scientists with the experience of knowing how they could get fucked over by messing around with things.
Especially one of them that was trapped in there for a long time.
There's no. When I admit, I'm going to say this out loud. I mean, wait. There's 2 things, right? It's either A, they're actually this stupid, and we're gonna somehow have to believe that they're this stupid, and that'd be the worst. Or it's gonna be something where she's gonna be like, I did this on my own on the side because she went against the grain anyways, and she just hit it, and they came. But that's
I got what it is.
That's not that strong. That is putting it in the formula. That's putting down the formula pretty hard for the start. But the rest of the movie could be different.
Yeah,
Joss, I got it. It's a science project.
Oh!
And she was working on it, and she's like, "Oh, look what I started doing!" Like da. Oh, look, boop, and it's like, wait, what the hell is that? No.
Jaws, if you're right, I'm gonna be so fucking mad. I'm gonna be if
Get
you're
mad.
right,
Get big
I'm
mad.
buying you a pizza if you're
Get
if
big
you
mad.
get that right.
big mad, big mad. I'm gonna be so pissed if the
Oh, man.
story is that Cassie Lang built this thing as a science project.
Oh man, I borderline want to go with Brian when he goes to see it, because if that were to happen, if I could witness your reaction live, it would be the
February
best thing in
17th,
the world.
baby. But
Remember, Tony Stark built this in a cave with a pile of scraps. That's the universe we're in.
Fucking
Now, and then
so
the
mad
other
already.
movie that's supposed to be coming
This hasn't
out.
even happened, and
The-
Jaws
the
is just
other-
saying the idea
Other
of
movie, hold up. The other movie that's coming out,
so bad.
Wakanda Forever, has Ironheart in it,
Yes,
and somehow she makes
yeah,
a
she makes yeah.
energy source,
yeah.
and she makes her own armor. Baby,
Dude,
just
honest-
vibranium just floating around in
Yeah.
the world, and she
She's not
gets it,
chilling
like,
with
ooh.
scraps. She's chilling in fucking Wakanda. There's a lot
Dude.
more than scraps.
Honestly, when I watched the trailer the first time, and that's what happened, that they showed the fact that she goes, "Oh, I created a beacon. It's like a satellite for the quantum realm," and I was like, "Okay." In my
Wait
head,
a
I was like,
minute. I can't do
immediately,
this.
I was just like, "You have two scientists, like you both said, you have two scientists who are well aware of the dangers of the quantum realm and quantum technology."
Not
and all that
aware is not the right term. Experience.
experience. Sorry, even better. Two
Well,
experienced scientists.
Well, to be fair, I don't
Experience the
think
negative.
OG Ant-Man, he knew not to go that small.
Yeah, but they
Hank-
have.
okay,
He
but
knew
he-
not. He said, "Don't go that small. You're not supposed to." That's how my wife got lost.
but
Then the wife survived in there.
right. But
and
the second
then-
movie, you find out that he has been playing with the quantum realm.
Yeah.
Like he has been playing with the technology for quantum because he's been trying to figure out how to get back to her. So let's assume, because you're right, Jaws, they don't actively say he is informed on this, especially since what they've depicted is a mistake on his part. But
and then also his wife was like, shut that, like, I think when she came out, she was like, shut the machine off, and then Ghost happened, right?
right,
Or something like that.
Yeah. Because
So
Ghost happens because she gets pulled out of phase
right.
when the machine goes off. Yeah.
So there's that. So, but she comes back older and stuff, and she's like, okay, good, I'm out of there. I don't have to worry about it. And then they go, and then as we see in the trailer, they go back in, and it's like, wait, what the hell did you do while you were in here?
Yeah.
And it's almost like she ruled a bunch of people. She conquered some people. Like,
So next phase,
like she was like a tyrant. It was like, I don't want to be back. She's hiding and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Next phase of the trailer. So the trailer is starting off with them getting pulled in. Next phase of the trailer is everyone. It seems they all get separated because they show you Cassie and Scott together, and then they show you Hope, Janet, and Hank Pym together.
Mhm.
So the teams get separated. You get a whole bunch of cool shots of this is like a universe, a whole different universe inside, which is super cool. I think that's something that we were all really excited for. When I saw the imagery and the setup, I know a lot of people online have been making jokes about Spy Kids 3D looking graphics, which I thought was fucking brutal. I was like, damn, that is cold.
They were,
But it's true.
People are
Damn,
also
really?
comparing it to Star Wars. Like, Marvel is doing its own Star Wars kind of thing.
I did see that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were saying that because you're seeing the ships come up, and there's like all
Yes.
these different aliens doing their
And,
own
like,
thing.
Kang is on like platforms that are hovering with like spheres coming around him and stuff like that. And I gotta say, man,
I think. Look. This is what I'll say.
Okay.
Ant-Man has been the one series that I feel every time a movie of his came out, was like an Ant-Man movie. But if
always surprised.
True honesty, it's out of the park every time in comparison to expectations. I'm not saying the Ant-Man movies are the best in the Marvel U, but if you can compare them to like expectation, if you just compare them to like they are above the halfway mark.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You know what? I think you're right. I think if anything, the advantage he has is he has the lowest expectations for a character. I really genuinely believe out of all the characters, he has some of the lowest expectations. No one ever expects his films to be anywhere near good. And he always manages to do a solid, like his stories are always pretty solid. Yeah, so in the trailer we see it. Scott's living his best life, and he he's going around, he's hanging out with people. We see him on red carpets. There's the joke about him being called Spider-Man. We all which is I thought was pretty funny. And then that's where you go into the scene where Cassie's showing them the little creation. They all get sucked in, and then you see this beautiful scenic world with odd creatures, which is this that particular scene where you see them in this kind of space wild background is both Star Wars and Spy Kids 3D. That's why I feel.
Well, I'm worried when they say Spy Kids 3D. I worry because it does feel like how can I say it? This is already feeling like a family-ish movie.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
it's already feeling like it, and it literally feels like you're just aging the characters.
Yeah,
you have a mom and a dad.
Wow.
And you have you get what I'm saying?
I never literally thought of that.
Yeah, grandma.
I didn't even see Spy Kids. I've seen Spy Kids because I used to work in a video store and it would play.
Yeah.
So I have an idea of what the story, and now that someone points it out, pretty valid point.
Grandma, grandpa, grandpa, mom and dad, and
all that is the mom and
shit.
It's just the kids aging.
The
kids just didn't,
Oh man,
leave
you don't be
the
messed up
parents.
if Danny Trejo's actually.
This is like this is like Venture Brothers. This is like Venture Brothers in comparison.
When you just said it's like Spy Kids and then broke it down to the grandparents are in it, the parents are in it, the kids are in it, and then we look at this trailer and it's literally the same breakdown. It's like grandparents, parents. It's like, and then like a big bad. And I don't know if you guys saw Spy Kids, but one of the big bads is George Lopez, I think, in like in a 3D shell head, and that's how Kang kind of looked in the trailer the first time. And I was like, now that you're saying it, man, I didn't want to. A few people have told me this is the vibes that they're getting Spy Kids 3D, and that is sad. That is sad. I don't like that. I'm worried.
I'll give that Spy Kids 3D was pretty different and very inventive with the story. We always like, oh man, we need different stories, and then we get one, and we're like, it's too different.
Hey, you're talking to a guy who actually watched all the Spy Kids movies, and liked them
for research.
Call it what you want.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
I like my thing with movies is movies don't have to be fantastic or over the top if it's just fun. I'm happy with fun movies, and those movies were fun when I was younger. Hit me, Jaws.
I have a question. Did you finish off the series?
I watched all the way
of Spy Kids. You finished off the series.
I didn't watch the last one, but that's mostly because I forgot it came out. I had actually had it on a list to watch one weekend and ended up doing other stuff and didn't get to it. But I do want to watch it.
But that's not what I actually mean. I mean, did you finish off the series by watching Machete 1 and Machete 2?
Oh,
because it does count. It's their Uncle Machete. It does count.
Yes.
No, really?
Yeah. Robert, yeah. Machete is a family member.
Yeah, and it's the same character.
Yeah, Robert Rodriguez full on said like this is that's the crazy part. Like
that's hilarious. I didn't know that.
And like Robert Rodriguez didn't he get in trouble for making Spy Kids because of like some Directors Guild thing he wasn't supposed to?
It's probably because he was the writer, the director, the composer. Like he does the editor. Like he does everything.
Thing that he was doing that I remember got him in trouble at the time.
I didn't realize that he's the one who did. He was the director.
Yeah.
He does everything.
So in the trailer, we get. I just want to real quick finish off the trailer discussion. We get a whole bunch of shots. We get some running. We get some action sequence. We have some really nice. Yellow Brick Road kind of blended with orchestral stuff playing in the background. Really nice, really cool. And then we finally get to see Cassie in her suit next to Ant-Man and the Wasp, which I thought was pretty cool. I still think they did that other girl wrong. The actress who was originally playing Cassie Lang in the...
Oh, the little girl?
No, the adult. She was the girl who, when he comes back after 5 years for Endgame.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, and they recasted her to her, right?
I thought that was rude. Especially the fact that actress found out when they announced Catherine, this girl.
That's rude.
That's rude. So
it's not rude until what you just said.
Oh yeah,
remember what you said, Brian. Remember what you said, Doc, at the beginning of the show.
What?
Disney don't give a fuck.
You know
they'll
what?
recast you like nothing.
Put a crown on his head, people. He's 100% right. Disney don't give a fuck about nobody. I don't know why I even thought. You're 100% right, sir. I said it. and I should have stuck by it.
Look, if you don't play ball, you don't get Disney money.
Well, it's not
That's
even
how
that she
it
didn't play ball. They just recast it.
They just recast the girl.
Go back.
But
Go
that's,
back.
guys.
Mm.
We don't know what it is.
Yeah,
but
we
she
don't.
done something to fuck up. You know
No,
what I'm
no.
saying?
We don't
She was
know.
Yeah.
16, man. I'm not gonna say that this kid did something.
Even maybe
They
she's
just
not a
wanted a
great
bigger
actress.
name. How? Which they
How
just
do you
I was just
know?
gonna say
The
real
actress,
quick.
she was on it for 2 seconds. Sorry.
They just wanted a bigger name, dude.
I was gonna say go back to the trailer and go back to that portrait of the 3 characters of
Yeah.
Ant-Man, Wasp, and I guess Ant Girl. Maybe?
No. If she's either stature,
Mm.
which is when she grows, and then I don't remember her name when Stinger. I think it might be her name when she does the smaller suits. But
Right.
technically, if it's the purple suit, the smaller suit, that's actually Hank Pym's secret daughter with a Russian spy.
Okay. Hank Pym getting dirty all over here. I was gonna say, just for the big nerds out there, this reminds me of Beetleborgs, or just the three primary colors on screen at the same time. If they got their helmets on, I would have said Beetleborgs, or was it Metal Warriors? I said Metal Warriors or Metal
Is it Insector?
Metal something
Insector?
is the actual name of it. I forgot. High Kiter and all those guys.
So
yeah, sorry, I just had to hit it up with the nerd stuff on that one.
So Nadia Van Dyne, legally changed from solely Nadia, is Pym's other kid. Nadia was the daughter of Hank Pym from his first wife, Maria Trovaya, who was kidnapped during their honeymoon and subsequently killed by foreign agents. Nadia was raised in the Red Room in Moscow, Russia, where she trained to become a Red Room agent herself. Yeah, so I know that girl ends up getting her own costume at one point. And yeah, Cassie ends up being Cassie Lang, who is Scott's daughter, ends up becoming Stature, and she's a young Avenger character, which is, as we know, almost every young Avenger character has been introduced so far, except for Hulkling. And if they don't use Hulkling in She-Hulk, they introduce Scar. A lot of people are assuming they're going to replace Hulkling with Scar. So,
what was the other thing? I think the only sad thing about this movie is that there's not going to be any Dave. There's not going to be any Lewis giving like a nice little recap. There's no Kirk.
Yeah.
You might get one of them at the end. You might get the recap at the end.
Yeah, I was
maybe.
just gonna say, fingers crossed. We might.
Or after credit scene.
I think Randall Park is definitely in it. From what I'm seeing in the IMDb, definitely in it. No Dr. Bill Foster, no Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah,
there's no point if he's getting big.
Yeah, I figured.
But I would have liked to see the what's going on with his friends that have their company. And
that's one of the things about Marvel. Sometimes when they introduce so many characters, and you feel like, oh, are you either going to spin these off or bring these characters back just for cameos or scenes or something? And I feel like Marvel sometimes drops the ball on that. Like we don't.
I would have liked to see a TV show about them. Or just a small mini series, just like, hey, we're doing the security stuff, and then you have all the other characters, like all the other street level characters jumping around, and they're like, well, should we call Ant-Man?
Also,
we can handle this. We don't need him.
Can we say it now? They're going to be in San Francisco. The mutants are in San Francisco later on. It's a big part of where they live. They're living at one point in the Marvel comic book 616.
Professor X's mansion's in San Fran.
No, that's in the upstate New York. But at some point later on in the comic book, they end up moving a huge swath of the team to San Francisco, and that becomes a major part. The reason I say that is only because I know they were trying. Remember, at one point, Skinny said they're trying to move away a bit from New York because they're already New York heavy with Spider-Man, and then you're going to turn around and have Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four. They're going to be in New York most likely. And you have Daredevil in New York. Like you have a lot of stuff happening in
Avengers
New York.
compound is in upstate New
York, right? So you have all that stuff in New York. You have 2 characters right now that are in San Francisco, Shang-Chi and Ant-Man.
Maybe Iron Man-ish.
Yeah, he's on the West Coast.
Sorry, he's dead and everything, but I guess Pepper Potts would be over there.
He was in that corner.
Yeah. So if you're gonna do coastal, I would say maybe you could possibly introduce some mutants. I would say maybe San Francisco, because that would be kind of cool. And because you're doing all this quantum stuff, all this playing with people in space and whatnot, maybe we show a mutant. I want to see a fucking mutant for real.
I'm sorry. Like I agree with you.
I know
on
we're
that.
seeing Namor, but also
No, he doesn't count because
He does
Namor's
count.
Namor.
He's the
No,
first
no, he
mutant.
does not count because
I fuck
Namor's Namor. No one. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but like you have to think about it. Namor is.
He's a mutant.
It's like
buddy.
saying. It's like saying.
He's a mutant.
He is, but like he's bigger in name. He's bigger in stature because of his background.
Okay, sorry. So sorry. I actually agree with you. You're saying he doesn't count as in that's not like a mutant recognized X-Men based mutant. Got you. Yes, you're right. I agree with that. Namor is a mutant. But I don't like the idea of counting him as the first major mutant we're introduced to, which is what
that's
you're
like
saying.
a retroactive kind of thing.
Yeah,
right. That too. Yeah, they were like,
it's like, yo, I've been here the whole time. So wait,
yeah.
one of your people banged a human,
Yeah,
and that happened, but you don't know who. But you're the first mutant.
But you're like, how old are you again? How does it work?
Like it's a little like, okay, fine, you're the first mutant, but then how did you jump from like under the sea?
Yeah,
and then birth
under the sea. Come on, Namor.
So someone from Namor's territory just walked out onto the thing and just hid their wings the whole, like,
I don't know.
Give me
man.
logistics. I want to know what happened.
This is getting into a whole kinky adventure now. Someone out there, Atlantis fucking.
And the thing is, let's also put it this way as well, right? He's a mutant because he has on top his being all his abilities underwater, being stronger and faster than people is all Atlantean qualities.
But he has
his mutant power are the little wings at the bottom of his,
and he could breathe underwater.
Well, no, that's an Atlantean thing that he gets.
Atlantean DNA.
Okay, I see what you
mean.
Right?
So
like
he does have
his defect, his birth defect.
His birth, exactly. His birth defect is what's counting him as a mutant. It's not X gene. He's never been an X gene guy. He's been I'm this.
You know, it'd be funny if this whole time his mutant was just because he could swim very well, and it turns out Michael Phelps was mutant the whole time.
Michael Phelps is a mutant. Let's just be honest, guys. Let's be honest here and now on Geektastic Siphon. Michael Phelps, mutant. There's a few of them out there.
So now I understand why Sue Rich is always torn between her husband and because of the swimmer's body. It's obviously that.
Oh God.
I could understand now. Now we have all these years of the swimmers are the top of the food chain in the Olympic Village, it goes down and down.
Can we take a moment to discuss that how like aesthetically pleasing and insanely beautiful the actress who plays Sue Storm is gonna have to be, just by the sheer fact that she's such a beautiful woman in the comic books, that she has Reed, Namor, Black Panther, Victor. She literally has the leader of the 3 biggest nations in the comic book vying for her hand.
Oh my God.
You know Professor X has thought of her.
Oh, for sure. Doom
girl, if I had legs.
Oh,
if I had legs.
Girl, if I had legs.
I could get you here, girl. And
it's fucking Doom at one point in the comic books rewrites the entire universe and writes it so that she's his wife and that Valerie and Franklin are his kids. Like, are you fucking kidding me? How crazy do you have to be? But also, how hot is this woman? And I would like to say it's her intelligence, but let's be honest, half of them have barely spoken 2 words to her before they become obsessed with her. So it's about the looks, not because we're shallow. It's because it was how it was written. And I know that sucks, but hey, folks, these comics were written in the 60s. One of the episode titles of this podcast is Marvel was racist in the 70s. We've already said some shit about
so then if this does happen, there has to be moments in these movies where they're like, oh, I can't figure out this thing. And she comes in, she looks at it, and she just simple movement of something. Like she just comes in, doesn't say nothing, just
yes.
And then they're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And she looks at them.
I want Sue Storm to like own these idiots when it comes to the intelligence and the math. Like, I want Sue Storm to be the reason Reed Richards is considered the smartest man. Like, he might be the smartest man, but Sue Storm is secretly every once in a while helping that motherfucker out.
The Mary Carey.
Yeah. Do it.
The mother of what was it called? nuclear,
X-ray?
actually, or
Radiate.
radiation, I think.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering right.
Wild.
She
Someone
just-
give Sue Storm
just-
a plaque.
I just that's all I want. Just like a simple, and they're like, "Wait, what?" And
Yeah,
they look at her, and she just gives like a eye roll, or like
oh, you know where they should do
like,
that? You know what? This is something I know this is not where they introduce her or where they meet, but Reed and Victor went to school together. If anything, throw Sue into school with them. And like you said, there's this moment where they're trying to work on equation and she comes in and does that. And that's when they both fall for her. Because I always found it a little boring that these two were always fighting over her. But where did Victor meet her that he was obsessed with her? Like, why is he, like
I always took that as just the same jealousy as he has for Richard for everything else.
Oh, interesting.
Like, I'm going to conquer this. I'm going to ruin this for you as well.
Oh God,
there's no smart girls in Latvia.
Yeah. Let's get a smart girl obsession.
There's no smart girls in where he's at. Like, you can't just be like, bring me the smartest girl in his land. You know?
Yeah. Can we get a sexy librarian Sue Storm? Let's do this. Who are we casting? Sexy librarian Sue Storm. I want someone who, when they have their hair up and the glasses, you're just like, oh, you cute. And then all of a sudden she turns into Sue Storm. You're like, oh shit, we might need to take a beat. Everyone stand back. Our hearts have just exploded. Like, I want that Sue Storm. Who are we getting? Someone said to me the other day, Blake Lively, and I was like, she's pretty and all, but I don't want Blake Lively.
No, I agree.
Good choice.
Sorry, Blake.
Don't want it.
I completely agree.
Great choice. She's beautiful. She's tall. She's statuesque. She could play Sue with her eyes closed and her hands tied behind her back. Don't want her. Give me someone else. Insane. Who else do we got? Who's blonde and beautiful in LA or New York? Actually, hopefully they get someone from New York, a little bit of a New York accent.
Oh, I was gonna say, what about the girl from
you're like
the blonde girl from Scrubs?
Blonde girl from Scrubs.
Oh, nah.
Okay.
Wait, who's the blonde girl from Scrubs?
I say this with respect, but she's. I feel because if
the lead actress.
Yeah, like the blonde.
Oh,
she was also in How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, she was in a few episodes.
Yeah, she played the girlfriend.
Chalk. She played Dr. Elliot Reed.
Okay, so we're gonna say it. Dave, do you want to say it, or do you want me to take the bullet?
I'm throwing out.
I'm saying that if it was in the peak of her career, yes.
Right.
But like right now, it's like I imagine if they're gonna do Fantastic Four with how they're also planning stuff now.
Right.
I'm assuming that to a certain degree they're gonna want cast members that will.
Jaws. Mm-hmm. How old is Sarah Chalk?
Yeah, that's a great question because she's like, I'm not saying this news because like they have to age,
right
like
no, but go ahead. How old is she? I just want to see something.
She was born in 1976. What? She's from Ottawa? She was born in Ottawa?
44.
She's Canadian?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to claim her. You know what? Let's put her in.
I forget everything I said.
Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. What? I didn't even know that.
Okay, because I was gonna say if she's only a little older than Blake Lively.
In Rick and Morty, she's Beth Smith.
Yes, yeah. She's the mom.
Oh, she is? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay, because Blake Lively is born in 87, which I'm like, okay, you're in your 30s. Like, that's around the age that I'm thinking.
Because, like, for them, it happens in their late 20s, early 30s, this event.
Hold on. Okay, let's just look at the list.
Yeah, because they're supposed to be, like, the parents, and then you got Johnny, that's the young hotshot.
Yeah, because, like, Johnny...
maybe Ben's a little bit older or about the same age.
Yeah, like if anything, Ben would be like 30-ish. They would be between 25 and 30, and Johnny would be like 19 to under 20.
What if I pose this? Does Sue have to be white?
No, she doesn't.
I don't really care, but if you're going to change one, change them both. I found that very irritating.
Here's my thing.
Does she need to have a face on her that looks like, you're so stupid, and you could just instantly tell without her saying anything?
My thing is, I don't want to race bend characters, and I say this all the time, not because I think it would be a bad choice. I think a black Sue Storm would be fine, or a South Asian Sue Storm, Sue Storm, whatever you want to do. But my thing is, we have a lot of those characters that exist, and give them a chance instead of just race bending all these other characters.
Okay.
But with that said, you already did Michael B. Jordan one time, which, so I'm not opposed to it, I guess, if you're gonna do it. I don't want it.
I'm just throwing it out there to cast a wider net because I'm just like trying to think. I'm thinking more older.
Who you saying?
I'm not looking.
No, but who are you saying? Who are you saying? Josh, who were you gonna say though? Because
No, I don't have anybody at the top. Of
Oh,
my
oh,
head.
you
That's
didn't
the
have anyone on the
problem.
list.
I got
Okay.
nothing.
Okay.
I shot my shot, and you were like, no, that's a little bit older than my. And she's already playing a mom on a cartoon show. So I'm just
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I got nothing really.
I'm gonna toss some names out to you guys.
Hmm.
Amanda Seyfried, the ditzy girl from Mean Girls. She's done a lot of other stuff, but that's where our generation knows her most.
Huh.
No?
Ooh.
Okay.
Actually,
said,
Figgy Skinny says the light skinned girl from Dear White People.
Tessa Thompson?
The movie or the TV show? Because I don't think it's the same person.
Tessa Thompson or Logan Brown? Logan Brown? I don't remember her name exactly. Hear me out. Hear me out. Oh no, she's already playing someone. Damn, I think she might. I was gonna say Charlize Theron.
Oh no, she's already got it. But no, if you
had she not been playing,
but the same reason why you can't choose the other girl, because Charlize Theron's getting a little, like I say this with respect, she's gorgeous, but
no, she's in her 30s.
Really?
Yeah, Charlize Theron.
She's a little bit older than that.
I thought she was like
1975.
Yeah.
Oh, she's 75?
Yeah.
1975.
Like, again, I say with all due respect, she's gorgeous.
No, that's fine. I thought she was younger than that.
Nope.
My bad. Okay. I gotta say, she's looking younger, folks.
Oh no, she's gorgeous. She ages like wine.
She's looking younger.
It's not easy at all. This is harder than we thought.
I know. Why can't we think of actresses in their 30s that are blonde that can play this very specific role we all have a very unique idea of, and that we'll all get mad?
I think a lot of us are just like, I think we're kind of all in agreement. We don't want Jennifer Lawrence.
No, I don't want.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't be against it, but no,
I don't want.
I wouldn't be happy, but I don't vote for it, but I don't vote against it.
Oh, what about Alice Smith? Is that her name? No, Alice Eve, the girl who was in the first Star Trek movie. Alice Eve. She's in. She played the in Iron Fist. She played Crazy Jane. Not Crazy Jane. What did she play in Iron Fist? I can't remember right now. God damn it! All these actors with their amazing roles, doing all these fucking movies, being so famous.
What
Fist.
about
Mary Walker? Yeah, she played Mary Walker, which I thought was Mayhem Mary or whatever her fucking name is. I can't remember right now.
What about Chloe Grace Moretz? I'm just throwing out names. I don't know.
That's pretty young. How old is Chloe Grace Moretz?
Born in 1997.
That's pretty young. That's 10 years younger than Blake. If you're gonna go that young,
too young.
How old is 97? If someone's born in 97, how old are they now?
Maybe that girl. You know that girl
who
was
just touching 30.
Too lazy to do it in my head. 25.
Yeah, so like mid 20s.
Yeah.
You know who might? You know that girl who is the indestructible cheerleader in Heroes?
Typhoid Mary. Okay. Skinny Hayden Panettiere. No, I don't want her. But Skinny just misspelt it. But Dakota Fanning. Not Dakota Fanning. Okay, well, that's Skinny. They didn't love her.
She irks me for some weird reason.
I'm behind you for Dakota.
Like I would rather Hillary Duff before that one.
Oh my god, that is just rude. That is.
We are all old.
That is a.
You see the fact that this is hard and we're not getting the right people. Like,
I mean, I feel like we've named some decent people. We just haven't agreed on anyone. I don't think I don't think our list is so bad that we could say like, oh, well, we didn't get anyone. I just think we haven't said anyone that all of us are like, oh, fantastic.
I don't think there's like a.
Mind you, unfortunately, I think Blake Lively was the only one that were like, wow, but we
we don't want her. Yes, perfect. Yes. Great.
Who's like,
no thanks.
Who's that girl from The Office? That John Krasinski.
Oh, the girl that plays Pam.
Yeah, Pam and get him to.
Oh, that. Okay, I see the in joke. I got you.
I spelled it out.
You drunk weirdo. Yeah, I saw someone.
Oh, you know, it'd be funny. You gender swap. No, that wouldn't work. Or maybe you gender swap Victor Reed and you make
Victor.
Sorry, Victor Creed. Sorry, Jesus.
Victor Von
Doom. Yeah, Von Doom, and you put it as what's her name? What's her name? Oh
I
geez,
have
that
I have one for you guys.
the dude's daughter that did the documentary about him.
The dude's daughter that did
The music guy, the black music guy.
Rashida Jones.
Yeah, you put Rashida Jones,
Oh.
and then that's the extra like thread.
That's crazy. Okay, I got one that's gonna make people mad. You guys ready?
Go for
You
it.
guys ready?
Hmm.
And I think it's time we give her a chance. Amber Heard, people. Amber Heard, let's go.
No, get
Amber
outta
Heard.
here. What are you
Give
talking
Amber
about?
Heard
What are
a
you-
chance.
No, she gets nothing.
Oh my god!
She gets
You just want
nothing.
controversy.
I 100%.
You just want controversy. That's all
I
you
want
want.
people-
You
I
just
want
don't want it
people-
to happen. That's
I
why.
want people in the streets arguing.
Yes.
Oh, okay, guys.
Yeah.
Kristen Stewart.
Fuck off.
Why? Give me. Okay.
Kristen Stewart because
Because
she's
she's
not
not
a good
blonde.
enough actress.
Are you fucking kidding me?
She's not
She's-
blonde.
For 20 years, she's been making you guys think she's a bad actress by just having no emotion. And then she does movies where she's has the full range. She does the Diana one, where Spencer. She's done a whole bunch of things
She
where
did a
you're like,
movie with the guy that played Soprano before he passed away.
right. She
And
actually
was actually
is
good in that.
a good actress. She's just been playing bored because she didn't want half of the roles that they pushed her in when she was younger. I'm saying, man.
But she's not blonde.
Skinny is saying Kristen Bell.
I would love that, but again, I don't know.
I
like,
think
she's
Kristen
a
Bell's
older.
a little. I
Yeah.
feel a little older for the role.
Like, what you know who would have been great in her prime?
And by the way, guys, I just want, because anyone listening might be like, you guys are being harsh for the women. Trust me, I don't want anyone old playing Reed either. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want like this salt and pepper thing that he does on the side of his head. Fuck that. Let's go back to the Miles Teller style, because I actually want a younger Reed Richards for a bit, like, so that we can build out the character for a while, as opposed to this thing where he's old from jump.
But it's also because you have to take into consideration when you're making these movies, if you're going to try and keep someone on for like 10, 15 years to do a
Right.
role, which is a lot of these well, that's so far been the formula, you know?
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
if
you
pick
gotta go young.
you have to take it into consideration that if the character is a certain age throughout the whole career, this person has to start the role around this age in their life.
Yeah,
Just a thing.
Yeah.
The facts.
I'm with you.
Skinny,
agree.
you're right. I agree with you on that last point.
I agree.
Veronica Mars for life.
Veronica all day. There's
Because-
a reason Dax Shepard locked it down. Dax Shepard was just like, this woman wants to give me a chance. Ring. Where's the ring? Someone get a ring. I gotta put a ring on it right now. Lucky ducky.
She likes sloths. Give her all the sloths. Make
Yeah,
her paralyzed at home.
I was listening to a podcast.
What?
They were talking about how she loves him. She loves him, and she loves the fact that he's just a silly redneck. She's just like, I married the most redneck of rednecks. He has like cars and trucks on our front lawn all the time, but I love that silly redneck. And I was like, my God, this man got this woman's heart. Like she not that she considers herself upper class or anything, but she already knows that she knows
her
she's
type.
better. She knows. And she still gave this man. That's cool. Shout outs to Dax. He did something interesting.
What a Chloe Grace Moretz?
That's
did
what he
bring her
said.
up. That's what
He
I
already
said.
said
I said, oh,
She's 25. And I was just like, I guess, like, if you're going that young, and that's what I said. If you're going to do Chloe Grace Moretz, I'm down. But you got to stick in that age range. And I agreed, like, Skinny's hitting the nail on the head also. You're looking at CW, Cobra Kai age actors. So even that young actress who's on Cobra Kai, like, you could go, I feel she looks a little too young as an actress, but she is the right age range, I'm thinking, for what we're looking for.
What about Alicia Cuthbert?
I would say Alicia's, unfortunately, like Hayden Panettiere, looks young but is older. And if you're going to do 10 years, if you're going to do a decade of these movies, is that who you're sticking with? That's the thing. Same thing with the actors. Like, Miles Teller was good. Like, I almost feel bad for Miles Teller, because Miles Teller would be maybe decent for that role now. But he got shafted with that crappy movie.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear who they want for Reed Richards?
Nope.
no.
The homeboy from whatchamacallit? Lucifer. Star of Lucifer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's the big rumor now. How do you guys feel about that? I'm gonna look up his name, but
I could see it, but I think
I could
could see it.
I could see it, but I don't think I want to see it.
But is Reeves a charming guy, or is he
Tom Ellis.
or
Tom
he's
Ellis.
or he's more nerdy?
No,
How
Reed
does he-
Richards a nerd. He's not.
Yeah, he's a nerd. He's a nerd who's borderline rude because he doesn't care.
Yeah, I feel like Reed Richards might, as a comic book character, be one of the first people who may have been on the spectrum. Like he doesn't. He sometimes in the comic book does not realize when, like, he doesn't read emotional or social cues at all. Sometimes. Ooh,
that's a good one.
A good one. The girl who played Sabrina the Teenage Witch on the Netflix series, Kira Kipman. What's her name? Kira.
Skinny, we already said hit girl. Already brought her up.
I can never remember. Kiernan Shipka. There you go. I knew it was
there's this girl named Gracie. I'm gonna butcher her last name. It's Disney because it's DZIENNY. I guess you say that as Disney, or is it Disney? She seems that she might be able to, visually. She'd look like she'd be able to do the role.
Oh, I've seen this actress. I've seen her in stuff. First Kill. Yes, she's the older sister in First Kill. No. Horrible actress. I'm sorry. My god, she's so bad in First Kill, dude. Like,
okay, fair enough.
It was painful to watch, sir. Painful. She's also Ruby Red in Jupiter's Legacy. We have 2 flops from this girl on Netflix. Off with her head, folks. Off. Queen of Hearts, take care of this. Ios mio, as they say. This is
Ios mio. Like, I think you're going a little far. I got it.
As soon as I typed it in and I saw her face, I was just like, wait, why do I have flashes of bad scenes and overacting? I'm getting a whiff of failure. What's happening?
What's happening? Well, I mean, there's also the concept that maybe they'll find somebody. You know what I mean?
Okay. And you know what? That's what casting agents are for. I was just throwing it around, but I'm just like,
we tried.
Enough. We tried.
We failed.
I'm saying based off of this group, we came to the conclusion of we got one.
Who?
We got one.
Oh, Blake Lively?
No, she didn't count. No, you're right. The Sabrina and what's her name? Chloe Grace.
Well, Chloe Grace, I would say for the age range, I don't know that she would be good in the role of Sue Storm, because Chloe has always played like these really hard characters, and Sue Storm has this thing where she is insanely powerful, but is also plays the like, she's almost mothering, right? Like she's the mom of the Fantastic Four. Like Johnny might be her brother, but he's like the little son. He's almost like a son to her sometimes, the way she acts about him.
He's hella childish.
And she's always, because like Reed never tries to stop the Thing and Human Torch from fighting, but Sue is the one that's just like, boys, like 70s.
I don't know. If it's Chloe Grace Moretz playing her, she just use her like her shield powers and like put him down, like, yo, knock it off.
Yeah, Chloe.
There's like some harshness on him.
Yes, exactly. Chloe has a lot of edge to her, and I'm looking for someone a little softer, someone that won't make me feel like I'm about to lose my teeth because I acted out in public. And Kiernan, Kiernan Kishkipka, I've always forget how to say her last name, but I feel like she's not that bad. I feel like she has the softness. We've seen her softer side, like when she played on Sabrina, and she plays like the good and the evil Sabrina, and she's always like looking out for people. Okay, but we need a good Reed Richards with her.
Yeah,
but also Blake Lively, because if we're being honest, that's probably the let's be honest. Out of the actresses who look the age range, look the character, have the acting skills, and has shown us they can handle action, Blake Lively has done all those things. However, don't want her. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with me.
But did they also say what's her name? Who's John Krasinski's wife?
Oh, Emily
Blunt.
Yeah,
she could do it.
Nah.
Shut down hard.
She's got the acting job. She's done fight scenes.
Brian wouldn't have it.
No. You know what?
Barely got through your name.
If I'm being honest, I think the only my
Deadpool package in there somewhere. Deadpool clause.
The reason I'm reluctant is more the fact that people were pushing for her so hard at one point. That was why. That was for me. is that it was too much. But anyways,
But you know what may have been too much?
Black Adam.
There you go. You got it. You
As
got
soon
it.
as you said it, I thought it too. I was just like, if we're going to talk about something that was way too much, Black Adam, you tried too much too soon, sir.
Oh boy.
Too much too soon.
Okay. All
But
right, so I
before we
think
get to
spoiler,
that,
we got it.
before we get to that, I feel like we would end up talking about it for a long time, and I do want to give Jaws the chance. Jaws, can you summarize your love for or hate for Top Gun Maverick? Because I know there's a few people that listen to the show who are very big fans of Tom Cruise.
Mhm.
So
I'm gonna say that I did like the movie.
okay.
I did feel that the ending was way too happy, and I thought it was gonna go in a different direction. I thought it was gonna go in a different direction where they're like, oh, they win at the end, and I thought they're gonna pan back and go into the sun and then come back, and then all of a sudden Maverick's really hurt bad, and he was just imagining stuff going perfect. But no, it was just a happy ending and stuff. I thought it was pretty cool.
Is it true that the villains of the story, the Nation, is never named? They just kind of
Nope, just like the original movie, kind of like never named. Although, if you know your helicopters, there is a Hind D, which would be more Russian, but I mean, maybe they just bought it from them and you're using it. But or maybe just handle snowy areas, whatever. But the movie as a whole, I thought was pretty good. Val Kilmer's in it, and I thought that was pretty cool.
How did his voice sound? Because they recreated his voice with AI technology. No,
he does not. He does not talk. His character, how his character they work it is that I guess he has throat cancer and he just types it, and then he speaks, but it's like really like rough on purpose because that's what's happening with the character.
Oh, interesting. Because the whole time they even posted up a clip saying that they worked on his voice.
Maybe they did, but the way it works in the movie, like I if he was acting, if he was speaking that way, because his voice is not there,
right.
It's very heartfelt. It's very heartfelt, and then they obviously kind of a little thing in there. So that's really cool. I thought it was good. I thought it was good, and I part of me was like, I wish I saw it in IMAX, but I didn't. But definitely a good movie. I wish I also watched the first movie and then watch this right afterwards. But again,
what was that like?
Were you a fan of the original?
Right, good question.
I think I was a fan of the concept. I knew most of the songs. I remember me and my friends tried to do a drinking game with it, and we're like, we're gonna die from alcohol poisoning if we do this. But we didn't get through the whole movie. But I remember watching the whole movie before, and I did like it. It was it's a bit of cheese, a bit of thing, but
80s.
Yeah, definitely 80s, but you definitely see like Maverick's hurt. Like, he's definitely
gone through a lot.
He's gone through a lot, and he's a character that's like remorseful of what happened, and he wants to help people, but like he can't give all the information kind of thing. But like he obviously, like, there's a lot of stuff he's going to do in this movie. There's a lot of stuff in general that he does that he would just get court-martialed. And one thing I love is that they explain why, and someone's looking out for him, and you find out why.
Oh, cool.
Like that. So I thought that was
that's actually real cool. All right. Okay. I know one of my buddies was telling me I should go see it in IMAX. I actually didn't get the chance to, and I do feel bad because he really said like the IMAX experience was fantastic for that film. So,
but a question though, how did you? How can I? This is gonna be weird to say, but how did it feel watching a movie that had no CGI in it? Because there was not supposed to be any CGI in that film.
I was blown away. It was a lot of practical, and they said this is probably going to be the last time we're ever. I mean, there's CGI obviously, but I think like for the most part, when you're seeing them flying,
it's all real. Like when they're in the plane, when they're flying, they're actually in the plane. Like they're like it looks like a one-person plane, but that's because the second they are the second person.
Yeah, okay.
So you're not seeing
the pilot,
the other pilot being like the other pilot's doing his thing, and they're acting while going
like multiple G's and stuff.
Yeah, like cool. I was like when I heard that, I was like, that's insanity.
I'll say this. You know what's insanity? The fact that he's going into space for his next movie. That's fucking insane. Tom Cruise.
What?
Yeah, he's going into space for the next big project, like actual space.
It has to be Mission Impossible.
Yeah, it would be Mission Impossible.
I don't know what it is, but guys, you don't need to. Like, And for me, it's more
again,
No,
the way
it's Tom
I
Cruise,
pose
though.
it, the way I always pose it is that he is the Western Jackie Chan.
sure. I think he's
But
a
if you know what I
suicidal
mean, like he just puts
celebrity.
himself in unnecessary harm.
He's a real life action hero, bro.
But dude, my thing with it is
He's
more
a Joe.
right. But let's look at this for 2 seconds. I own a studio. What's cheaper for me? Have someone on a soundstage or send someone in an actual fucking rocket into space?
Well, you heard what he said, right?
No, what did he say? He's crazy that he's
I think for Mission Impossible,
trying to
the one where
find
he's climbing the building,
Scientology
bird-
god. Yeah.
the Burj Khalifa.
Yeah, that huge, insane.
That's
Saudi
the fourth
Arabia.
one, right? I think that's the fourth one.
Sure.
So I think
With
there
the
was an
suction
insurance
cups.
company that wouldn't insure him,
Of course
and
not.
so he just
I
fired that insurance company and got another one that would.
I would never insure
I
Tom
know.
Cruise.
But
I
again,
would
he's
never insure you.
I understand you're the head of the production or whatever,
Right.
but he's
Executive
the executive producer. He's
Yeah,
still
but-
he's still the executive producer. I'm Tom Cruise. You should give me money to do this movie. Oh yeah, he's Tom Cruise. Look at all this. Look at all these hits. Bam, 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 bam. Puts numbers on the board. Bam, bam, bam. Here you go.
The man is a lunatic, and we
I
should
know.
all be concerned.
The only thing I will say about him positively is that I love the last Mission Impossible movie because he sets the world. He puts the world in danger to save Vin Rames' life.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I will give him that much love and respect. He's like, yo, Vince, I'm doing another Mission Impossible. Can you come down? Oh, that's sweet of you, man. You don't have to. Oh, come on. Just come.
Let's talk about another big man. Speaking of Ving Rhames and big men, Black Adam. How do we even start discussing
Okay.
a film? Do you want to start from the beginning? Do you want to start with the beginning? Do you want to start with the things you didn't like? Do you want to start with the things you did like? What do you want to do?
Let's start at the beginning. 15 years ago, The Rock tried to make this movie, and it was in development hell. Then he finally got to make the movie he wanted to make 15 years ago. And here we are. Ignore everything else.
I will say this. I will say my short version, and then you can go on whichever tangent that you want.
Okay, I'm going to sit back.
There was good action. You can't deny that there was good action. That was very entertaining.
Yes.
I do like how they connected it to the U, and like whether it be the after credit scene with Waller.
Hated that.
I didn't mind like how they connected the Shazamness of everything. Obviously,
that part, yes, I liked.
Like, you know what I mean? Like how they did all that stuff was cool. I didn't. One thing that I don't know, because I know Black Adam well in the sense I've read him a lot of Black Adam.
Right, same.
But I've not necessarily always read the origin story of him. Okay. So whether or not like there's that switcheroo that he does.
Yeah.
You know, like whether or not that's true or not, whatever. But other than that, there was elements of this movie that were good that they had throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I find the overall, I don't know how to describe it other than like he had like that was not Black Adam on the screen really. Nope. Like power wise, sure. Yeah. Other than that, I felt that he was written relatively stupid.
Oh, interesting.
I hate that he just kept on not using doors, and what made me even more angry is when he acknowledges that he knows what doors are.
Yeah.
Like this whole time you're like, oh, this guy's possessed by the power, which is stupid. You're not possessed by the power. You're a human being. You exist. You don't lose your brain.
Yeah.
You don't lose all your experiences. You don't some random kid doesn't have to teach you about punchlines and like use your superhero phrase. What the fuck is that? You're not a robot. This isn't Big Six or whatever that thing is. That's not what this is.
6. Yeah.
You thank you. This is a movie about a person who goes through a bunch of struggle.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And defends a certain part of the world and doesn't give a crap about the rest.
Exactly.
And I like that he still cared about I forget the name of the place, but
Kandar.
Kandar, thank you.
Yeah.
I like that he cared about whichever. Whichever. The point is he still was true to that, but how he was true to that wasn't true to him. He loves, like, example, him not going through doors is stupid because the original one would not destroy someone's building unless he had to via like attacking someone, but to just like I'm gonna ruin your entire home by just
Yeah. No
like it
joke,
was
Jaws.
driving me nuts.
No
It
joke,
was
Jaws.
driving
At
me
one
fucking
point,
nuts.
he goes through a wall the first time, goes through another wall the second time to go into the hallway, goes out the building through the wall, so just pops a hole through the front of the building, then takes off. Then on his way back, instead of using the hole in the walls that he's already made, punches a hole through the back of the building. So he punches 4 holes into these people's homes for absolutely no reason. Because when Fate says to him, I guess you've never heard of a door. He's like, of course I have. I have. What do you think we use in Kandak? And you're like, what?
I wanted to rip out the chair in front of me and throw it across the room
Like
when I was in the theater.
Like as soon as he says the line, you're just like, but then why are you like
exactly?
Because I'm
Exactly.
angry.
But it's not even like it's not even funny. Like it would be
No.
interesting if it was funny, but it's
I'm
like
a dick.
exactly. That's
well,
the thing.
isn't that kind of I remember that in Super Pets, apparently the extra scene is that Shazam and his dog show up.
Okay.
And then Shazam's dog is trying to be like, I'm so dark, and it's like blah 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 blah. Like I'm such an edgelord, and then like I think Crypto is like, well, you know, you don't have to do that, and it's like, but I'm such edgelord.
Oh god, honestly, dude. So my take, again, like the action, thought it was cool. The fight scenes, the helicopter, his depiction of moving in high speeds, where he does that, like almost like Quicksilver is.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool because not many people have done that in a while. Quicksilver in the X-Men movies, did it well. That was definitely the Quicksilver is probably the top for how he moves things and arranges things, and then there's that split second where everything happens afterwards. And they did something similar to that in Black Adam, and I was just like, you know what, this isn't that bad. I can't be mad at it.
I would probably say the only thing that's probably closest to that in comic book form or anime form and manga form is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, where the guy stops time, he does a bunch of stuff, and you see it just slows down, and then he starts time again, and everything happens.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool.
I thought that was well done with Black Adam. But then,
because it's odd, the problem. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't want this film to be connected to the DCEU. I was hoping they were gonna like Waller showing up already had me so unimpressed. I didn't want Waller in the film. I would have liked to just have the Justice Society of America and move forward, because here's my major issue with the DCEU as a concept. They had Darkseid come to Earth and do all this shit, and the Justice Society of America characters, Dr. Fate, Hawkman, the original Atom Smasher, whether it's Henry Winkler or his nephew, the new kid that takes over, whichever version, and then Cyclone. Why did these people not get involved at all when Darkseid showed up? Dr. Fate for sure should have been there. They make reference to the fact that he's been around since we've known each other for 40 years. Like all that BS of him and Hawkman knowing each other for such an extended period of time, meaning they've been there the whole time, meaning they've been there when the Darkseid stuff happened, and for you not to have them, like, it's stuff like that that drives me crazy. You shouldn't have had Waller at all. You could have just introduced these characters and it would have been great.
I also didn't like that Dr. Fate is seeming like a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
Like, I hope that's not true, like in the sense like you could always just give the helmet to somebody else or whatever. Right. But I was there, I'm like, why would you do that?
Yeah. Like, they definitely nerfed him. Like he's way more powerful as a character. Also, I was upset as fuck they didn't show the Ankh. Like, why did we never see his recognizable symbol that he's known for? Even the one on his chest wasn't a real one. It's just a circle with a line that connects to his cape. It wasn't the real Ankh that you see in Egyptian. And if the idea is that, we didn't want to culturally appropriate the symbol for the Dr. Fate character because that's not cool, it's like, okay, but then cast an Egyptian actor to be inside the helmet and make it someone different. You can fix stuff like that of cultural appropriation in comic books if you just make the right decisions. And just getting rid of parts of the character's original imagery, to me, seems like a limited way to do it.
Like,
sorry.
Sorry, it's just because I was gonna say one way they could have fixed that is just you could have named him anybody else.
Anybody else?
You could have named him anybody else and like, okay, cool. Now we're gonna take the helmet and give it to Dr. Fate, as we all know. Bam.
Facts. That's one of the things that I thought. Like one of the things that really bothered me was, and it, you know, spoiler. But guess what? You hired a much older actor to do an action film playing Dr. Fate. He's not coming back. All right. Spoiler. We said it multiple times before. If you heard it and you didn't, that's on you. But essentially, our homie's not coming back. Pierce Brosnan was a one and done, most likely. We know how it is in superhero movies. You can always come back. But based on what we saw, homie's not coming back. And with
sorry.
No, I was just going to say, with that said, to me, I agree with you. You could have had anybody else. You could have had Pierce Brosnan play this version and not be the same original character. That's also an option.
But one thing that they could always like retcon live in the movies, I realize now, and it's only because it's magic that they'd be able to even do this. But at the same time, you're like, you can't do it that often. Is like, oh, we're gonna do a resurrection spell to get him back. Oh, we resurrected you, but you're not old, you're young now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
like, there is, but that's only because he's magical. There's a lot of tropes that you can do with Dr. Fate. So it's like, this is special. This is not everybody.
Did you feel, because some people got upset with how Dr. Fate's magic was depicted and said it was too similar to Doctor Strange. And I said, I thought it was different enough that people who, because remember, these movies aren't for us. We're nerds. We know this stuff already. Yeah. But for people who aren't familiar with superhero movies and stuff like that, I thought Dr. Fate's depiction, magic depicted in the movie was done well enough that people who didn't know who he was would get that he was doing magic.
Yeah.
Because the aesthetic of Doctor Strange's magic and what he was doing was similar enough, but still different. It wasn't exactly the same thing.
It's kind of, because like even when you compare it, right? Even in a comic book, what's the difference? That one's blue, this one's red.
Right.
Like,
right.
You know, and how magic usually is drawn, right? There's only so many ways you could depict how magic is.
It's like wisps of wind and like light.
Yeah. You know, it's that, or it's a bunch of symbols floating around.
Right. Right.
Like, you know, and like, if you're going to compare Dr. Fate and Doctor Strange, it's like you are comparing the two quote unquote strongest, or at least most popular musicians that were kind of mimicking each other throughout their careers. It's expected. What I really liked is that I found that how they made it like, how can I say this? They made it, I like how he was experienced and he had multiple tricks, and it was like you saw a lot in one movie comparatively speaking to like Doctor Strange, where you only saw so much.
And also, he was in that Doctor Strange first movie. He's like learning to become the Sorcerer Supreme. So you're not going to see everything.
Dr. Fate in this one, first time you see Dr. Fate, homeboy knows how to do his stuff. First time he interacts with Black Adam, he completely changes the environment back to the original Kahndaq, and then disorients Black Adam so much that Black Adam stops what he's doing, and then Hawkman comes in like Goldberg spears him as hard as he can and rams him into the ground. And I was just like, yes, that was a great scene.
Yeah, it was really well done.
You got good magic depiction. You change the entire scenery. The character's confused. Hawkman comes in. The spear is done well. Hawkman has his weapon, starts hitting him. And I was just like, this is some good action. But then you get to the story, and I'm like, honestly, dude, I've said this to people, and I said it in my socials. Listen, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, I get that you are a leading man. I understand. But there are going to have to be times where you take a back seat. And you should have taken a back seat when they wanted to do Shazam and Black Adam appear in the Shazam movie. And I really think we would have gotten a solid first Shazam and Black Adam movie, as opposed to getting two. You all know how I feel about Shazam, which I do not like Shazam. But then you get to Black Adam, and Black Adam is, my rating was 2.5 on 5. It's not a horrible movie,
no,
but it's also lacking in so many ways. And like you said, you're right. The whole thing with the kid and the like.
You know what it is? It's that the let's call it the faults.
Yeah,
I found to be very awkward, and that made the movie feel awkward. Like, first of all, again, like I can't emphasize like the going through walls and stuff. Like because at first when I saw it, I'm like, okay, he's trying to get at it because he starts doing that when he's in the crypt, and you're like, okay,
Yes.
this makes sense because I want to get out.
Yeah, right.
Cool, makes sense. I don't know where I'm going. I know I need to go there. I'm gonna go straight beeline. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just gonna go outside, and I make the most damage compared to everything else I've done to the people that are quote unquote the people I have to protect.
And people who have helped you.
Yeah.
Like you got stabbed and fell to the earth. They brought you to their house, had you like in the bed so that you could heal. And then you wake up and immediately start to destroy their home.
So like that again, super awkward. The fact that the kid, it's like that he's the 2.0 on crack of that kid from Iron Man 3.
Yes,
Tony.
yeah, the sidekick, the like,
you know what I mean?
The through the innocence of a child's eyes. Type
and frankly,
thing.
that kid should have died like 1,000 times in that movie. Like so many times. Like
this kid has more plot armor than Batman. Like it doesn't make sense.
There's so many times that like the security guard, like compared to everybody, and the thing is like treating everyone around him like shit. Then he's taking shit from this kid, and you're like, by now, based off of what I've seen, you're either backhanding him or outright shooting this kid in the face.
You mean like Hancock?
Right.
Where he tosses the kid and catches him back and puts him down.
Yeah, you're
like,
just
because dude, that's such a good example. Yes, that exact reaction of just like, why am I dealing with you? Like Black Adam is the type of comic book character who doesn't take shit from anyone. And then you have this kid running around kind of just telling him silly, stupid things like, you should tell them when you kill them, the man in black sent you. And it's just like,
you want to know why that irks us so much? Is because Black Adam in comic books is an intellectual.
And a fucking monster.
He might be a monster, but he's also an intellectual. He becomes a monster because of realization and being upset. But in reality, if you speak to him, he speaks well. He knows a lot of things. And when you're seeing this, you're like, that's what was irking me. This is not my Black Adam. This is whatever you're doing.
It comes across as Black Adam is a tank. Like, you know, when you're playing like D&D and all this stuff, your tanks are supposed to just be, you just throw them at things and they can handle it. Black Adam with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson plays like a tank. He kind of, and even like, he really just bulldozes through things and doesn't think about things as much as he should. And, you know, Hawkman, like constant arguing with Hawkman was, you know, the Hawkman arguing almost felt like, who is it that Hawkman argues with in the comic book? Is it Batman or Green Lantern? There's one of them that or Green.
If anything, it would be Batman. Everyone argues with Batman.
There's someone that Carter
maybe
Hall
Green Lantern. Yeah, Green Arrow, I should say. Sorry,
Carter Hall is always arguing with someone, and the banter that they had kind of felt like they were trying to mimic that. And I kept saying, like, you can't throw in all the qualities of these characters and their interactions into this movie. Give yourself some time. The JSA is a big organization. It's like a big crew of people in the comic book. Yeah. And you're not giving it time to grow naturally. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Because I was going to say the other thing that annoyed me about it, and it was something that I was looking forward to, is like, you know, The Rock is actually a very well-spoken person. Like, you know, he's done all his mic work in the ring and all that stuff. So I was looking forward to being like, okay, there's going to be like the angry brute aspect that he could do easily because of obvious reasons, his resume. But this is going to be one where he could actually showcase like the fact that he could talk some smack and stuff, because that's one thing that Black Adam does all the time. He talks shit to everybody around him. Like you challenge him a bit, he's like, I will destroy you.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you know, and not in like a robot Terminator way. And like,
dude, he holds his own with Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Like there's times where him and Lex Luthor are like arguing or debating or discussing, and Lex Luthor is considered the first, if not the second smartest man in DC, other than Bruce Wayne, that like they're always going back and forth for first. So yeah, you're right. The fact that Black Adam is supposed to be an intellectual and kind of was just played up as a tank, a bruiser, a fighter, and doesn't really seem to have a plan. I get that he just woke up after thousands of years. I get that he feels guilt for a lot of the things that happened, but I don't think the character should have felt dumbed down, and I don't think the story should have felt like also slightly dumbed down. And specifically, and this is my final point on it, I really think that, again, they should have just put him with Shazam, and I think we would have gotten a really, really interesting movie if you had done something where Shazam is unleashed, and at the same time, when Billy Batson gets the powers, Billy doesn't know what he's doing. He's learning his powers. He meets with Black Adam. He gets his ass whooped the first time, but then, as you do in a superhero movie, and even as they did in this movie, in his first movie outing, he figures out what he's doing and he gets to the goal and he ends up winning the fight. And that would have been it. And Black Adam would have gone into the prison, and then you start the next movie with Black Adam breaking out of the prison like they did in his movie, because you already have a fucking prison break.
Yeah.
Anyways,
and that's the other one other critique I'll have is at one point when I thought the movie was over.
yes,
I was like, okay, at least.
Me too.
And then there was like another like half an hour, like, oh my god, please.
Jaws, no joke. They
like,
honestly,
you know what part I'm talking about?
Yeah,
though, right?
no joke, wrap the movie. You take the bad guy to prison, everything wraps up, and then all of a sudden the movie continues, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Because
Another half hour.
They could bounce back from this movie if they just suggest that whenever the next time they see because I assume the next person he's going to interact with is Shazam.
Yeah.
If like between then and then, he literally says, I've taken a year or 2 years to educate myself. I literally just read up on everything, or somehow just does something to cue the fact that now he's intelligent again. Let's go. But like this,
I guess we'll have to see
this big six.
Yeah.
Version. I'm not a fan.
Last bit of news, folks. Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special trailer dropped. If you guys haven't had a chance to check it out, speaking of James Gunn, like we did before, this is, if I'm not mistaken, before Guardians of the Galaxy 3. This is his second to last project over at Marvel, and the fact that they announced he was going over to the DCEU on the same day they dropped the trailer for Guardians was hilarious. 100% intentional. We know that's the case. It's so funny to see. HBO Max's Green Lantern series to start over and focus on Jon Stewart. This is what people have been saying from jump. I don't know why they didn't do this to begin with. David Zaslav, your whole team is a waste. You don't know what you're doing when it comes to DC. I actually don't think you know what you're doing when it comes to the studio as a whole. I think it's kind of crazy, all the things you've been cutting and tossing out and these huge decisions you're making. I get that you're trying to save $3 billion, but you know what? Maybe fire some of those other execs and maybe you take a pay cut, motherfucker. Anyways, yeah. That's pretty much it, folks.
I like the stat thing.
I mean, if you're gonna start firing everybody in the company to save $3 billion, I hope you're taking a pay cut. I hope
that's fair,
because your salary is part of that $3 billion, buddy. If you know that you're getting like, I don't know how much of these fucking execs get when they run studios, a couple millions on millions of dollars, take a pay cut, bitch. Do you need all that money? Get your fucking wife.
The answer is technically yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just tired of these. You see this guy like ruining people's lives and just like shutting down Cartoon Network over here, merging it with animation over there, and just doing all this stuff. People who've been in these industries for 20, 25 years now just wondering, well, there's no need for me. It's the redundancy. There's someone already doing this job here. So what do I do? And then you're Zaslav's just sitting at the top going, all right, that's another penny I've earned. Woohoo! It's what, bitch? No.
He's Scrooge McDuck, bro.
Oh, big time. That's a very fucking good point. They should get him to do the Scrooge movie. What's the one with Bill Murray that they did?
Scrooged.
Yeah. Let's redo Scrooged with Dave Zaslav and see how he feels. Tiny Tim, some poor executive, some poor studio employee's kid sitting at holding a picture of Dexter's laboratory going, my daddy's friend drew this for me. It's all we have left from when he worked at the studio.
Jesus, man.
That was so good. That was such a good voice.
So angry.
That was great.
I am.
Let the hate flow through you.
Oh, yeah. Sidious style.
Yes, Doc.
All right, guys. Anything you guys want to tell people before we head off?
Go and watch Transformers Slag Podcast on YouTube.
Go check it out. That's the whole show. Also check out The Dumbest Timeline. New episodes on Friday. Video episodes drop on Mondays. We have some really fun ones. We have one coming up with the Kardashians. We don't bash on them, but we definitely think they're a cause that... Actually, we bash on them. It's pretty bad. That's it, guys. Peace out, everybody. We'll be back with another one soon. Peace.